Troubling surveillance video shows suspected killer Josemar Cabrera passing his neighbor's Ring camera as he pulls a large object wrapped in fabric.
He's dragging like some kind of a blanket with something inside. Probably he had the body in there. That's what I'm thinking.
An unsettling conclusion for Mario Sanchez, the Lancaster neighbor who captured the footage, sharing what he knew about Cabrera and his 33-year-old wife, Sheylla Gutierrez, who was found dead in the Angeles National Forest 3 days ago.
I never had any interaction with the husband. He always seems like mad all the time. But with the wife,
started like any other day. Kids laughing, life moving fast. But by nightfall, one woman was gone. Her name was Sheylla Gutierrez Rochillo, 33 years old, mother of 3, a woman who always put her kids first. And then, she just vanished. And oh note, no call, no goodbye. 1 minute she was there, the next, nothing. Friends knew right away this wasn't like her. Sheylla loved her children too much to leave them behind. So when she didn't come home, they panicked. They called. They texted. No answer. By evening, they reported her missing. And that's when the first twist hit. The person closest to her, the one who should have been the most worried, started talking. But what he said only made things worse. Shella's husband, Josemar Cabrera Cornejo, told the family not to worry. But his story? It kept changing. First, he said immigration officers had taken her. ICE picked her up, he claimed. The family was confused. Sheylla, picked up by ICE? That doesn't make sense. They thought they knew her. She wasn't hiding from anyone. She had no reason to run. So why would immigration take her? The story felt off. But before they could question him further, he gave a new version. Sheylla left me, he said. She found someone else. She's gone. Now the family was angry because this wasn't Sheylla. She was a devoted mother. She loved her children deeply. Friends said she'd never leave them, not for anyone, and yet, that's what Josemar wanted them to believe. Hours later, he changed it again. She was in an accident, he claimed, but when they asked for details, he went quiet. No hospital name, no police report, nothing. 3 stories, all different, and the man telling them? He was calm, too calm. The family didn't buy it. Something was wrong. By now, the family had heard enough. They called the police, told them everything. Officers began looking into Sheylla's disappearance, but they didn't know yet just how twisted this case would get, because soon, a video would surface, and what it showed would leave everyone speechless. Friends started posting online, asking for help, praying for her safe return. Her mother, Helga Rochillo, begged for answers. Sheylla, if you can hear this, call us, she pleaded. Just let us know you're okay. But deep down, she feared the worst. Helga knew her daughter. She knew something wasn't right. She would never leave her kids, Helga told reporters. Not like this. Not without telling me. And then Helga said something else, something the police didn't yet know. Days before Sheylla vanished, the family had a video call. Sheylla told her mom she was scared of her husband. Before we go deeper, if you want updates on Sheylla's case, every twist, every new detail, hit subscribe. Because what happens next will shock you. Police kept digging, and soon, they would find footage that would make the family's worst fears come true. When someone goes missing, police always look at the people closest to them first. The spouse, the partner, the one who was there last. And here, that was Josemar, but instead of helping the search, he gave stories. Lots of them. 3 different stories in less than 48 hours. Each one falling apart. So police stepped in. They started digging into Josemar's movements, and soon, they got their first big break. At the couple's apartment complex, cameras were everywhere. Police pulled the footage. They started watching, and then, they saw it. Josemar, dragging something big, a large, heavy object wrapped in fabric, across the parking lot. Out of the apartment, he struggled with it. It looked heavy. Police zoomed in. They couldn't say for sure what was inside, but the fabric, it looked familiar. When the family heard about the video, their hearts sank, because it matched what they feared the most. Helga, Shella's mother, told police, That's the same blanket from their home. And she said something else. Sheylla told me she was afraid of him. Here's where people started asking tough questions. Why wasn't he arrested right then? Why let him walk free? Police said they needed more evidence. The video wasn't enough on its own, but the public wasn't buying it. 3 stories. A missing wife. Now, suspicious footage. Still no arrest. While all this was happening, no one had seen the kids either. 3 children. Where were they? Police asked Josimer to bring them in for questioning. He didn't. Instead, he vanished too. This is the part that stunned everyone. Before police could stop him, Josimer took the kids, left the United States. He crossed into Mexico, then headed for Peru. By the time authorities realized it, he was already gone. Now, this wasn't just a missing person case. It was international. American officials reached out to both Mexico and Peru. They needed to find him fast because people feared the worst, not just for Sheylla, but for her kids too. Authorities in Peru finally located him. At an airport, he was with the children. Police questioned him. The kids were placed in Sheylla's mother's care, but here's the part that shocked everyone. They let him go. The community was furious. How can you let him walk? People asked. Police said they didn't have murder charges yet. Without that, they couldn't hold him. But this made people angry. They had video evidence. They had a missing woman. Now a man on the run. And still, no charges. Helga spoke to the media. My daughter told me he mistreated her, she said. She said he even hit the children. Sheylla had told her mom she was planning to file a complaint, that she couldn't take it anymore. Helga begged her to be careful, but Sheylla said she was done hiding his abuse. She wanted to speak up, Helga said, and now she's gone. While Josimer walked free in Peru, back in California, a group of hikers would soon make a discovery, one that would break this case wide open, and what they found would leave everyone heartbroken. The search for Sheylla grew louder each day. Friends shared her picture online. Neighbors put up flyers. Her mother prayed for a miracle. But behind the scenes, detectives kept watching that footage, frame by frame. The video didn't lie. It showed Josimer dragging a bundle late at night. One large shape wrapped tight in fabric. Awkward, heavy, he struggled with it. Stopped, adjusted, then kept pulling toward the parking lot. Investigators noted the timestamp. It was the same night Sheylla vanished. People started asking hard questions. How much proof did police need? 3 stories. A missing wife. Now this video, but detectives said they couldn't rush it. Not yet. Without a body, it would be hard to prove murder. And without murder charges, no extradition. It felt like time was slipping away. At least the children were back with their grandmother. Helga finally held them close, but she had no answers for their questions. Where's Mama? They asked. Helga couldn't tell them the truth, because she didn't know it herself. Officers searched parks, roadsides, forests, anywhere Josimer might have gone. Helicopters circled hillsides. Volunteers combed trails with flashlights. Day after day, nothing.
Hi folks, Dr. Miguel S. Coronado here from Ages of Change. Those of you who might not know me, I am an educator by profession. I'm also a community leader and an activist here in the Antelope Valley. And we're here today because we're bringing attention to a young mother of 3. Her name is Sheylla. She was murdered by her husband. This happened Saturday morning. Her husband dragged her body through this pavement into the trunk of a car. And then he drove to Los Angeles Highway Forest and dumped her body into the embankment. And you probably already know that the Sheriff's Department has reported on this. This happened almost 10 days ago. And we are now, since yesterday, bringing attention to Sheylla's murder. Her husband took her kids to Peru. And since the body had not been found until Sunday, he was released in Peru. So now what we're trying to do is bring awareness so the Sheriff's Department could work with the police department in Peru so they could extradite her husband back to America and face the consequences. You could see from the video clearly that he has a body wrapped up in some kind of sheet or some kind of curtain. It was reported by the Sheriff's Department just today that they did find that same sheet and the body inside, and now an autopsy is going to uncover what really happened behind apartment 1 here in Lancaster. Now, this is a continuation of domestic violence issues that we're having in the Antelope Valley. And this young lady had already been abused back in Peru. She wanted to start a new beginning here with her husband and her 3 kids, 3, 5, and 9. But it wasn't a new beginning. It was another chapter of the continuous abuse. He isolated her from her family, Sheylla that is, isolated her from the family, brought her to the United States to kill her, to murder her. And now he is a free man in Peru. His father is a high-ranking official within the Department of Corrections in Peru. He now has a lawyer, and he's claiming in Peru that he's the victim. And we believe that there is an accomplice, some lady that we have video of, helping them some way, somehow. And we also want to let the Sheriff's Department know that we have that video, and we're going to not only send it to Matt, but we're also going to send it to other channels within the media, and we're going to send it to the Sheriff's Department because we need this woman to be investigated. There's another woman as well that used to work directly with her husband, who apparently is an accomplice as well. So we just want to bring this attention regarding Shella's murder, because domestic violence in the Antelope Valley is growing, is permeating. And Sheylla is the fruit of that domestic violence.
But on August 16th, that changed. That morning, a group of hikers moved through a steep stretch of Angeles National Forest. Thick trees, sharp cliffs. They stopped near a deep ravine. Something below caught their eye. A shape, wrapped in what looked like bedding, half hidden by branches. They called 911. Deputies climbed down the slope. The air was heavy, silent. When they reached the bottom, they found the bundle, wrapped tight. Inside was a body. Within hours, they confirmed what everyone feared. It was Sheylla, 33 years old, mother of 3, gone, wrapped in the same fabric seen in the apartment video. The coroner worked quickly, but the exact cause wasn't clear yet. Too much time had passed. They needed more tests, more answers. For now, one thing was certain. This was no accident. When Helga heard the news, she collapsed. She told me he mistreated her, she cried. She told me she was scared. Now, her daughter was gone. People demanded to know. Why wasn't Josimer arrested before he left the country? Why wait for a body when the signs were all there? Online, the case exploded. Comments poured in. Justice for Sheylla, protect her kids, hold him accountable. Reporters reached out to Josimer in Peru. He denied everything, said he didn't know what happened, blamed other people, but no one believed him. Now that they had a body, the case changed overnight. LAPD prepared murder charges. Prosecutors worked on extradition papers. They wanted him back in the US to face trial. But here's the twist: even with murder charges, extradition takes time. And while the legal wheels turn slowly, more details about Sheylla's last days were about to surface. Details that would paint a chilling picture of what life inside that home was really like. After the body was found, the case stopped being a mystery. It became a hunt for the truth. What happened inside that home before Sheylla disappeared? The answers came from the people who knew her best, especially her mother. Helga recalled the final call with her daughter. It was August 9th, 3 days before Sheylla vanished. On the screen, she saw her daughter. Sheylla looked tired, eyes heavy, voice low. At first, they talked about the kids, school plans, dinner ideas, normal things. Then Sheylla's tone changed. She told her mom something had happened, something she couldn't keep hiding. Sheylla said Josimer had grown violent. Not just with her, but with their youngest child too. Helga froze. Wait, he hit the baby? She asked. Sheylla nodded, said she couldn't take it anymore. She planned to report him. Enough was enough. Helga remembered hearing his voice in the background. He had been listening. Suddenly, he joined the call, told Helga it wasn't true, said Sheylla was exaggerating. But when Sheylla stood her ground, his face changed. Helga said, he grew angry, silent at first, then cold. Helga looked straight at him through the screen. She told him to stop the abuse, that families don't survive this kind of violence. Sheylla said she was filing a complaint anyway, with or without his approval. Helga remembered his words. Don't do this, please. But Sheylla wouldn't back down. Later, Helga told reporters, if I had known what would happen, I would have told her to leave right then. Her voice cracked. She said she never thought it would end like this. People living near the family began sharing what they saw. Late-night arguments, loud crashes, sometimes the kids crying. One neighbor said she saw Sheylla outside weeks earlier, alone, looking upset. She seemed scared, the woman said. On August 11th, the day before she vanished, Sheylla called her mother again. She said she was taking the kids to the park, tried to sound calm. That was the last time Helga heard her voice. Detectives now had a timeline. The video call, the abuse allegations, the threat of a police report. It painted a picture of a home under pressure, a husband losing control, a wife ready to speak up. Authorities spoke gently with the kids. They were too young to understand everything. But one child said something haunting. Mommy was crying. The little one told them. Daddy was mad. News of the abuse spread fast. People lit candles outside the family's apartment, held signs demanding justice. Domestic violence groups offered support to the children. They said the system failed Sheylla. Could this tragedy have been prevented? If someone had stepped in earlier, if police acted after the first complaints, would Sheylla still be alive? Reporters reached out to Josimer's relatives in Peru. Some defended him, said he was a good father, blamed stress. Others stayed quiet, wouldn't answer questions. With abuse allegations now public, prosecutors had more than a body. They had a motive, anger, control, fear of losing everything. It pushed the case toward murder charges, but before charges could move forward, there was one more problem. Josimer was still in Peru, and extradition isn't simple. Every day he stayed free felt like another blow to Sheylla's family, and the fight to bring him back was just beginning. By now, Sheylla's disappearance had grabbed attention far beyond her neighborhood. Authorities realized they weren't just dealing with a local case. Josimer wasn't in the country anymore, and the children were with him. He first crossed into Mexico, then, without hesitation, flew to Peru. It was clear he planned to stay ahead of law enforcement. Police contacted officials in both countries. They needed to track him quickly. Meanwhile, Helga and Sheylla's friends worried about the kids. Were they safe? Was Josimer going to harm them? Airports were checked. Hotels were scoured. Every lead had to be verified. One slip up, and he could vanish entirely. In the US, the LAPD coordinated with federal agencies. Red notices were requested. Diplomatic channels were opened. The community was on edge. Every day without Sheylla or the children felt unbearable. Authorities located him at an airport. He had the kids with him, looking calm, as if nothing was wrong. Officials questioned him thoroughly, but without formal murder charges, they had to release him. The children were placed with Helga. She finally got to hold them, but their faces told her everything. They were scared. News of Josimer walking free spread fast. Social media erupted. How can this happen? People asked. 3 stories. A missing woman, video evidence, and he's free? Even detectives admitted frustration. The legal system moved slowly, and every day mattered. Although he was in another country, the case didn't stop. Authorities prepared extradition papers. Prosecutors were building the strongest case possible, but Josimer's freedom abroad left the family feeling powerless. Every passing hour was a reminder of what had been lost, and while the world watched the legal chess game unfold, the next shocking revelation was about to hit. Back in California, something unexpected had surfaced, something that would redefine the story completely. The discovery of Sheylla's body had shaken everyone. Her children were safe, but the pain was unbearable. Her mother, Helga, held them close, tears flowing, wishing things could be different. Candles lit streets near the family home. Friends and neighbors gathered. Everyone shared memories, laughter, and sorrow intertwined. People spoke of Sheylla's kindness, how she always helped friends, how she doted on her children, and now, she was gone. LAPD worked closely with the district attorney. They wanted murder charges filed immediately. Extradition. Papers for Josimer were prepared, but the process was slow. Peru's legal system had its own steps, and every day that passed left Sheylla's family frustrated. Josimer continued to deny wrongdoing. He claimed innocence in media statements. No one believed him. His release and international flight sparked public outrage. People demanded accountability. Helga became the children's legal guardian. She promised to protect them, to shield them from the trauma they had endured. They were still young, too young to understand the full story, but they remembered fear, anger, and confusion. And now, Helga had to fill in the gaps carefully, so that they could heal. Prosecutors continued to pursue the case. Every detail strengthened the case. If you want to follow this case to its final resolution, subscribe. We will keep you updated on every court appearance, extradition update, and breakthrough. The story isn't over. The court battles are ahead. The fight for justice continues. Questions remain. Will Josimer face murder charges? Will he ever return to California? Will the children find peace? The world waits, watching, hoping for Sheylla to finally get the justice she deserves.